AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio with me, Astrologer Shelley Overton. Each week we go over the planetary positions, discuss astrology, and take callers' questions. If you would like to call in and get a reading, you can call 347-994-3365. Call in early as the lines fill up. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. And I want to welcome you to the second attempt at my October 9th, 2018 show. And I love it when I give so much information in the first 20 minutes and it doesn't record. Thank you, Blog Talk. We're going to have to really figure this out because it's been happening for about a month now. So they are not doing well with this energy. Anyway, I was just talking about basically sociology of the country and how politics have happened in our country since Pluto was discovered and since the country was founded. So I will go back and synopsize that. And hopefully everybody who flew away from the show will come back after the break and come back and listen. But I had a few people lined up. Thank you, those who waited through this and know that this show has many glitches. Hang on one second while I just post it to Facebook. Sound is back. Yay. So let's just post the link real quick so we can get a few more people if they would like to call in. There we go. Okay, news feed. There we go. Anyway, so what I said was our country was founded with Pluto at 27 degrees of Capricorn, and we have a lot of Cancer in our country. And when Pluto was discovered was February 13th, 1930. It was at 7. Let me see. I just had it here. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find it again real quick. Discovering Pluto. There it is. 1. Pluto is at 17 degrees retrograde of Cancer. So that means currently we have Pluto almost exact. It just was, and now it is back to where it was opposite of where it was found. So let me clarify that. Pluto was found on February 13th, 1930 at 17 Cancer, and we now have Pluto at 18 Capricorn, which is exactly opposite where it was when it was found. It is also within about 9 degrees of where it was when this country was founded. So I probably don't have a thread of when Pluto was found and discovered to what's going on, other than the fact that currently we are having a lot of energy squaring where it was and also opposing where it was. So Pluto, in a sense, is also triggering a lot of psychological issues based on the fact that it was discovered. And when a planet is discovered, the energy is imbued into that planet like a birth chart. So it is a Cancerian planet by discovery, but it does rule Scorpio. So it is very watery, it is very intense and deep, and it will work on us in our psychology, and it works on us through our feelings about value and security. And so currently in our country, that is the story of the people that we are. I mean, just so you know, we have Sun at 13 Cancer and Mercury at 24 Cancer, and Pluto's discovery date falls right between our Sun and our Mercury. And so that means for our country, the discovery of that planet will trigger our sense of identity and how we express ourselves and our sense of our homeland. And so as Pluto is going through the sky now, and he gets closer to a return for our country, it is a time of major upheaval. It is a time of our psychology being triggered and the energy growing towards what we see as valuable in our country. How do we see ourselves in the collective as a country? What is our psychology? And we're seeing that with what's going on in politics, because politics is a reflection of the energy of Pluto, which rules politics more or less, and also law. It is the ruler of the 8th house of the zodiac, and it rules joint finances and collective agreement for how we see each other, how we feel about ourselves in the eyes of others. So currently, with Saturn moving closer to Pluto, we are going to experience more and more of this deep Capricornian fear arising. We are in a time with Mars squaring the Sun currently. Let me see here. I've got to get the right charts up. I apologize. So, yeah, America right now, currently the Sun is at 16 Libra, and that means that it's squaring the Sun to America, and it is also squaring Pluto. It's on the Saturn of America, which is at 14 degrees Libra. So it is about our identity this time of year specifically, and it's interesting that voting occurs during Scorpio, so voting will be under a sun that answers to Pluto. And of course, Pluto is direct right now and will be, as far as I know, let me double check. I think it just went direct, so it will be direct during the election. So I'm going to just highlight it on my ephemeris here. So on election day, which is Tuesday, November 6th, we have a Libra moon, which is good for balance, but it also may mean people can't decide. We have Mercury at 6 degrees Sagittarius, which I want to say is pretty close to another planet, but not. No, I don't see it. It isn't. We have Venus at 27 Libra retrograde. So, of course, Venus will be squaring Pluto in our natal charts. So Venus is desire. It's also women. Women are squaring the energy of the country being founded. So having a 27-degree Pluto in Capricorn in our collective country chart means that it was the ending of an old story around hierarchy, but at the same time, Pluto was retrograde that year at that time, and so it was going back over defining and refining what we saw our country to be. So again, if you listened to last week's show, I was explaining that when the planets go forward and they're at late degrees, they are initiating an energy of a new sign, or they are culminating the energy of the old sign and getting ready for the new energy to come in. When they retrograde at end degrees, they are going back over saying, wow, is this something that I truly want? Is this the way we want it to be going into the future? And then the planet goes direct and it wraps up the old story and begins the new story. And as long as it doesn't go back to those end degrees before it moves on, I mean, in other words, the next year, like especially Pluto every year, it only goes a few degrees and then it retrogrades. So it makes headway by about 3 degrees and goes back a degree, and 3 degrees forward and back a degree. And so we can have a late degree retrograde periodically every year towards the end of the cycle. And so I'm really fighting my little sneeze reflex here, trying not to. Pardon me. But, having the current energy at late degrees Libra, Venus is going to be going back into Libra coming up here. Let me just look and tell you exactly when. November 2nd. I take it back. November 1st. So November 1st, Venus goes back into Libra, which is honestly the energy of cooperation. And it is a huge part of this cycle because Saturn was just in Libra only a few years ago. And Saturn going through Libra was a Saturn return for the country. It was also the energy of understanding our motivation as a group sociologically of giving away our sense of self for the collective good or for the good of a smaller group, because Libra can be a little bit smaller and more about partnerships. It could have been about marriage and relationships, but giving away the energy is never good. We end up giving away our sense of self, and we don't want to do that. So when we had that Saturn return, that was kind of an awakening after Saturn was just in Virgo, and Virgo, of course, is also a sign of service, as is Libra. Libra tends to be more sociologically based, so they're the social workers of the zodiac, which Virgos can be too. But Virgos tend to be of service in medical fields or educational fields, or even in an office or the military. That's their realm. Whereas Libra, they're more of service for people and will give everything that they have so that people are not without food or shelter, that kind of thing. So when Venus goes back into Libra, she is taking with her this idea that she needs to give up her own desires. Venus rules desires for the collective good somehow. And that has been the story. But recently, after Saturn was in Libra, Jupiter went through Libra. And now this past year, Jupiter's been in Scorpio. Saturn was in Scorpio a few years ago, and then went into Sagittarius and just went into Capricorn last year. So Saturn's already made the trek through waking up to the need to be of service, and then the need to be of value to others and have a sense of value, and then went into Sagittarius, where he was about making us aware that we needed freedom and we needed a sense of self and spiritual purpose. And then now he's in Capricorn, waking us up to how we collectively agree to a system of work, a system of livelihood, and then also our system of government. So we are going through this cycle in the last quadrant of the zodiac now as we enter the Capricorn era, and then Aquarius, and then Pisces. So currently with Venus going back into Libra, she's really saying, do you really want to continue to behave in that manner where you give up your sense of self and it doesn't get you anywhere? Or do you want to be of good to people, having a full sense of understanding of your own femininity and having a say in the collective group? So that's what Venus is striving for. When she went forward and Christina Blasey Ford came up and said, this is what happened to me. It's very difficult for me to come in the public eye to say something that was private, to say something that humiliated me and express it, but I have to do it because I'm driven to give this information. Scorpio is about integrity, and ultimately in its higher spiritual form, it is integrity. But in a lower form, it can be very covert. And covert, I was thinking before I started the show today that the way my Scorpio moon and Scorpio Neptune in my Scorpio rising house, first house, worked is that, like last week, I mean, I know I do art, but art is my my other vocation. So I really have two split livelihoods, and I love each of them equally. And I've gone through this period of like, how do I give one up so I can focus strictly on the other? And I can't, because they are both so valuable to me. So as I was thinking about this and thinking about the topic of today's show, which is politics and government and society as it relates to astrology, I tiptoe around my political belief systems because I have Libra in the 12th house. So I want to be of service to people. I don't want to be biased in my livelihood. It's important to me that I include people, but it's also important to me after last week that I take a stand, because I have suffered from aggression from the male gender in bad situations. I have been in a bad situation. I've been physically assaulted by someone, and it's important that we are believed. And I don't want to harp on it too much, but when I was thinking about exposing this side of myself, I was realizing that some things are more important that have to be said in society, even beyond feeling like we have to sit there and be a good girl and not speak up and not say anything. And currently, with Venus going through this part of the sky, it is awakening women to their power. Venus in Scorpio answers to Pluto. Pluto's in Capricorn. It is a time to come forward. Not only that, but Venus is in sextile or 60 degrees away from Saturn. It is the time to own this energy. And so as Venus went forward in Scorpio, she had the power. She felt, I can tell you Venus in Scorpio is going to be very powerful to say, this is what I believe, very cut and dry, because Scorpio is black and white. And so our desires are no longer kind of wishy-washy. They're very defined in Scorpio. And Scorpio is a feminine energy. Venus is a feminine planet ruling Libra. So as Venus gets back into her own sign of Libra, she wants to go back and be enveloped in niceness and niceties and manners. She doesn't want to have to fight. She wants to be at peace. That is what Venus fights for. When she goes back into Scorpio later this year, the fight will come back around. And so that means that you can almost guarantee in December, from 0 degrees to 22 degrees Venus in Scorpio, we will be revisiting these charges. We will be revisiting how women are treated in society, and we will be looking for a fight. That isn't because we want a fight. Venus doesn't want to fight, but it's because the time has come. Venus will sextile Saturn again, and that will happen the second half of the first full week of December. So Saturn will be at 8 degrees Capricorn, and Venus will get back, actually, I take it back, the middle week. So she actually joins back up the 16th of December with Saturn in a sextile position, which means she's finally getting heard, and she will finally make headway in this argument for equality and a voice in society. And it's a long time in coming, and it's not going away. And as a woman, it's here to stay. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on these subjects because it is very important to me to state this. I have a Scorpio rising. I have all this energy is in my first house, right on my rising sign and on my moon Neptune conjunction. It is the way I've lived my life all my life. I am very much a proponent of justice, and I don't believe justice was served, and I think it will be served. But it is a continual progression. As an astrologer, I understand the progression. And so I just wanted to touch on it. I want you to know that the process is going to be years long. It's not going to be right away. It is an ongoing battle, so to speak. But having more women in government is a good start. And I can tell you, Taylor Swift coming out yesterday with her opinion on politics, having my daughter, I've told you this many times before, my daughter's a Swiftie, and I respect her as an artist. I respect her as a marketing guru. She's phenomenal at that. But in this culture and having it's very interesting. The concert I went to, Taylor Swift's, this year on the 14th of August was the anniversary of the date where she won her legal battle against the DJ from Denver, which I found also, it's very interesting in my life because I'm from Denver. And that's where she was on August 14th of 2017. And so when I went to the concert on August 14th of 2018, everybody had dollar bills to hold up for her as support for her having won. And she was believed, and she made a comment on stage about that. And so it's very significant, I think, just having those connections on top of the fact that that is my father's birthday. It was a wonderful father when it came to supporting women. He still to this day supports women and has tremendous amount of love for them and respect. He sees what we go through in raising children and running houses and families and businesses and everything. And he truly is a hero of mine. And so I'm really lucky about that. But anyway, I think that we are on the precipice of taking our voices back as women. And really, for anybody who is maligned by the powers that be, I have to tell you, you can point fingers at those powers until the cows come home, and they're never going to change. It only changes when we change. So we have to change how we see what is going on, and that we are not victims here. We are not going to be victims. We do not let anyone else write the narrative of our lives. We are the ones who write the narrative. And if it isn't working for you, then you are the one who has to say enough and do something about it. And I absolutely support anyone who supports women. And I wrote, I think I wrote something in Facebook about a progynist, and there's the word misogynist, so I just kind of coined the other word progynist, or progynist, which is GYN is women, and instead of being against women, which is a misogynist, I embrace progynist, so people who are for women. And anyway, that's my soapbox for today. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to take some calls. If you would like me to look into your chart, I will do that for you. And we're going to just take a quick break here. If I can find something to play, I need to make some more bumper music and things. So we'll take a break here for a couple minutes and be right back. And welcome back. Thank you for sticking with me. This is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. And if you would like to get me for a private reading, you can get me at angeliczodiac.com or at astrologerangel.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I can't get on Twitter right now for some reason, but I have a place. I have Astrologer Angel on Twitter, so good luck if you want to use that, but I would say probably Facebook or Instagram. Anyway, I just wanted to go back over because I just realized during the break that I didn't go over what was really happening in the sky right now. And so I'm going to take literally just a few minutes, not very long. I have time for the readings for the people in the queue, so don't worry. But we have the sun at 16 Libra. We have moon at 22 Libra. It was just a new moon last night. And then we have Mercury at 29 Libra. So Mercury, actually, let me double check. I think Mercury is going in to Scorpio. When does he go in? Mercury. Oh, would help being on the right page, wouldn't it? Of my lovely planner, my planetary planner guide here. There we go. Okay, so Venus retrograded on the 5th, and Mercury, where are you? New moon at 15 degrees Libra, and then Mercury, there we are, yay, actually enters at 8:40 p.m. tonight, Scorpio. So That's going to be an interesting time because obviously Venus is now retrograde, so she's going back towards Mercury. Mercury is dealing with the energy I was talking about before the break of cooperation and peace loving. And now Mercury goes into Scorpio and says, all bets are off. I'm going to run my mouth now, and I say that lovingly. I'm going to run my mouth, and I'm going to say this is not okay with me. That means that it's not going to be just women. Mercury is a neutral energy. It's a sign that is kind of gender neutral. And when it goes into Scorpio, it does take on the cause of women. It takes on the cause of value of women. And when Mercury joins up with Venus, there will be information that is shared and will be expressed when Mercury, actually, I don't know if he's going to join up with Jupiter before the end of the year. Let me just see, because what he's doing is he's taking information he gets from Venus and he's passing it along to Jupiter. But I want to see how long before Mercury gets to Jupiter, because he does go retrograde as well. And so he gets, let's see, he's going to get there by the end of the month. So by the end of October. I'm just looking it up for you quickly. I'm sorry. Okay, so it's going to be pretty much Halloween. Venus and Mercury will have a kibbutz, and then Venus gets back behind him. She will be, let's see, back, like I said, the 1st of November, she'll be back in Libra, and then they basically do-si-do. So right now, Venus has expressed her need to come out about her feelings around security and around her value. And Mercury was in Libra saying, well, yes, we should talk about it, but we aren't really sure that that's the right time or the right place, or don't rock the boat, or whatever it is. Mercury is ready to rock the boat when he gets into Scorpio. And he may also bring us a bit down. Libra is a fairly optimistic sign. It's an air sign. And when he goes into a water sign, especially a Pluto-ruled sign of Scorpio, he's going to bring us down a bit. So that means that right now he's on my rising sign at 0 Scorpio. But for everyone else, he's also going to bring out this deep, broody side of our emotions. But the beauty is Mercury is really not a deeply emotional sign or planet, excuse me. He's really intellectual. So where Venus may get emotional and get indignant about something, and that's the Scorpio energy of, like, it's indignancy, what we also saw with the men in politics, Brett Kavanaugh and Lindsey Graham and Grassley and all of them. Oh, we're so indignant and angry. Well, guess what? You haven't seen nothing yet. Mercury's coming into Scorpio. It's not going to be about indignant. It's going to be about words, and words as swords. So there's going to be a month of definite rhetoric around women's rights and what's going on. And then she's going to join up, or excuse me, Mercury is a he. Technically, they consider pronoun he. But in Scorpio, it's going to be very much about the feminine energy, as is Jupiter right now. Jupiter is a masculine planet in a feminine sign. And so when Mercury and Jupiter join up, they're going to have a lot to say, and it's going to be very transformative. And so keep an eye out for that. And because connection to politics, Scorpio energy, it's Pluto. And on top of it, Jupiter, like I said, is in sextile to Pluto right now. When Jupiter joins up with Mercury, it will be in sextile to, they're in sextile to, Jupiter's in sextile to Pluto now, and Venus is in sextile to Saturn. When Jupiter and Mercury join up at the end of the month, beginning of November, they will be in sextile to Pluto, or the country's Pluto, which is 27. That's more accurate. But throughout the course, though, Mercury will be in sextile to Saturn and Pluto starting this week and a couple weeks from now when he gets to the middle degrees of Scorpio. So it's going to be an ongoing thing. And honestly, Mercury going into Scorpio, that's going to be voting. And then Mercury gets into Sagittarius in time for the election. So that'll be interesting. It's probably also going to bring out more information around possible tampering from other countries, because Mercury in Sagittarius is the ruler of other countries' foreign affairs. So we'll do a show on that closer to that timeline, because, I'm going to want to look into that a little bit further than I can on this show. Then we have Mars at 9 degrees of Aquarius today, squaring Venus. Men and women at odds right now. Women are very deeply disturbed emotionally because of what's been going on. And Mars in Aquarius doesn't want to have to answer to anyone. Venus and Mars, I'm guessing, will finally join up a little bit later. Let me see. Mars is going into Pisces. Venus, does she get to Pisces by the end of the year? Nope. She stays in Scorpio through December. So I guess we're going to have a little bit of time till that conjunction actually happens. And it's going to happen, I'm just looking it up for you right now. No, actually, February, I think. Mars. No, the end of January, the two join up. Venus joins with Jupiter, which will be probably a rocket and rolling time. January, mid-November, all these are really huge times of aspects, transits, shifts of energy. Anyway, I'm going to get to our callers because they've been waiting ever so patiently, and I need to move on. So 651. Hi, 651. Are you there?
Yes. Hi, Shelley. This is Linda in Minnesota.
Hi, Linda in Minnesota. Thank you for being patient today. I appreciate it.
No problems. I knew you'd come through. I couldn't figure out how to get on Blog Talk to send you a chat, so I'm glad somebody took care of that.
Yeah, you can get on the chat room. Yeah, I really, that's the place that's easier for me to get to during the show. But yeah, they did. I just didn't check it soon enough. Anyway, what can I do for you today?
Well, my birthday was last Tuesday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. So I'm curious to know what's popping up in my chart for that, and especially for my new moon that we're in right now. One particular question I had, though, is I've been listening to Ann Ortelli. Thank you for turning me on to her.
Oh, she's lovely.
With her weekly forecast. But she was talking about this via combustia, so for 15 degrees of Libra to 15 degrees of Scorpio. Where was my sun? What degree was my sun in when I was born?
Your sun was it was just outside of that. It was at 9 degrees, but you've got Mercury, which is a significant planet for communications, but two major planets on either side, which is Neptune at 23 Libra and Saturn at 27 Libra, joining your Mercury at 27 Libra. So Neptune, Mercury, and Saturn in the Via Combusta, that's going to be pretty intense, because you've got not only the Libra and the dawn of that Scorpio energy, but it's at the end degrees. So you really did choose to come in to wrap up the old energy. And I want to say what's been going on is very much affecting you, like probably even more so is the Venus going back and joining up with your Saturn. And then Mercury just touching your Saturn and going to talk to Venus. And that's all in your house of higher spirituality, understanding, and travel and growth. So this is the house where you learn about and understand relationships and compatibility and cooperation, but also right now learning about retaining your sense of self and not giving it away to other people. And so it's really this deep spiritual growth for you. And I want to say it's kind of a bit of an awakening for you going on this year because of what's been going on. But also Jupiter just went over those planets a year ago. And now Jupiter's at your midheaven, within 4 degrees of your midheaven. So you've been going through like this major spiritual awakening and growth around partnerships and around your personal value within those relationships. And now Jupiter is ready to leave that house if it's been happening. Do you do education of any type? I can't remember. Is that your career? Education or sociology or anything along those lines?
I'm an energy healer and a wellness coach.
Okay. So the spiritual side of that.
And so I do education in the pieces that I'm also working on. On a Living, Breathing Miracles class.
Oh, wonderful. And are you teaching that then?
I'm going to record it as a free offer.
Okay. Wonderful.
Three-part class. I'm going to record.
That's nice.
It. So I do, like when I work with clients, I work with them a lot around the breath, around the healing power of the breath, as well as the healing power of love.
Yeah, because it's air. Yeah, Libra is an air sign, so anything with air, that's why like Reiki is really good for air signs. I'm
a Reiki
your
master.
Air sign sun. Are you a Reiki master? Yeah, I'm a Reiki master too. It's good. So that would be wonderful to incorporate because it's just a natural energy modality for a Saturn Libra, or Libra and Saturn. And then Jupiter in Scorpio, again, it's been going through the major degrees. And as far as like 15 to 15, all your planets do fall in that part, but they fall in the commitment / joint finances / legalities around relationships and marriage partnership area of your chart. And then, of course, Neptune, Mercury, and Saturn all fall in the 9th house for you, which is growth and understanding, spiritual understanding. So, between the 9th and the 12th houses, those are the houses that are probably the most seeking outside understanding for esoteric purposes. And you seem to be doing that. So you're definitely right along lines. And then having Venus come back on near your Saturn is just having you go, I understand there's a feminine side of my nature and a feminine side of the business you're doing and a receptive side. So definitely it's accenting that and wanting you to value that. And I think that your monetary gains will come in even greater when you recognize that feminine energy and the receptive energy. So like allowing it to come to you. And then Venus, of course, rules finances as well. It's desire, finances, and love. So that can all come your way. But because she's retrograde now for a little while, and once again, I memorize it and then I forget it. So she goes direct on the 16th of November. So whatever you're going through financially or with your career and awakening, that will resolve itself after the 16th of November. So it's just a little while. Like it's only about a month worth of having to deal with those issues. But really you're already, I went through some of this recently and I had an amazing past couple of weeks with my career. Things are really starting to pick up well. So if that's the same for you, just remember how that feels because Venus is going to touch back on that that Libra energy going, well, it was good, but now I'm worried again because you bring in the square to the Capricorn. And so, it can leak back into your psychology. So just remember how it felt when things were going right. And I'm telling myself this as well. I want everyone, if you've gone through that cycle where it's like all of a sudden everything broke open, it was great, and then it's kind of dribbling back. It's because Venus ruling money is going back and saying, remember, do you want this? And she's going to remind you, and it's the echo. And I've talked about like an echo effect before on the show where the retrogrades come back and they'll show you something from the past to test you and see if you truly are changed and want to go forward. And when that happens, when you see that same situation like, oh man, I've gone through this again, then that's your karmic echo. And just know that if you say, well, yeah, I've been there and I know I don't like it and I'm not going to react the same, you shift the karma, you shift that situation, and you don't have to deal with it again, at least not until Venus is back in Libra. So, just know that it's that little window of time till the end of November where you have to go, oh, okay, I've done this before. I know what it is. And it is going to go back forward. We're at really the precipice of so many permanent shifts of the planets for our lifetime with having Saturn. Well, Saturn's going to go fairly quickly. About a little over a year, she's going to be moving into Aquarius. And then so we'll have that shift. We've got Uranus that is going back into Aries to wrap up the story around bullies and guns and things like that. That's going to come back here for a little bit. And then he'll move forward for the next 80 years, and we won't have to do that energy again, most of us, and unless we live really into our hundreds. But it's a shift point. So just know that Venus at the end of Libra, she's going to pick up those things, then go forward, and then Jupiter is going to give a shift to you when he goes into Sagittarius, which is also coming up. Like November is going to be really big for everybody, mid-November, because the day Venus goes direct is also the day Mars goes into Pisces, and the day within a day, Mercury goes retrograde. I think later that night or something. So three quick-moving planets all shift signs or directions in one day. So it's pretty big, right around November 15th, 16th. So you're going to have a big shift this year, Jupiter going into your house of career. So it's coming. It's all right there for you. Okay, Linda?
Yeah, that's good, because I haven't done very well, as far as, being seen out there. But I am tomorrow on my Facebook page, Linda Waltz Loving Wellness.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for doing that.
For 30-minute sessions for $18.
Okay, say it again slower so everyone can get it.
So on my fan page on Facebook, Linda Waltz Loving Wellness, I'm launching an offer for 30 days for 30-minute coaching and energy healing sessions for $18.
Awesome. And it's spelled, is it W-E-L-Z?
W-A-L-T-Z, like the dance. So it's Linda Waltz, like the dance.
Okay, I like the dance.
Wellness.
Lovely. It's beautiful. That's a lovely logo. I'm looking. Loving Wellness is the logo. It's really pretty.
Yeah, that's what I finally come down to. So I'm looking for, marketing support and graphic support too around all that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really, really nice. So people, go check it out. Thank you for doing that. I never get people promoting their businesses, and I love promoting small business. Absolutely. I'm pro small business. So thank you for sharing that. Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
platform.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service and your blessing.
You're welcome. Thanks for sticking it out.
Thank you. It's a blessing. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, let's take our last call. 307. How are you, 307? Who is this?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Who am I talking to?
This is Alyssa.
Okay, I've got you right here. What can I do for you?
I was just kind of wondering what was going on. Like, I've just been having a lot of bad luck, I guess you could say. Or maybe not luck, just bad things happening.
Okay, well, let's just look at your chart real quick here. You've Uranus at your midheaven, and so that's in your career house. Uranus, again, it's, the energy of Uranus at late degrees Aries, which were your ninth house, is about men and assertiveness and seeking out, like taking action towards higher spirituality and understanding and being very much your own person around that. And then Uranus went into your career house, and that's shaking things up, saying you want to look towards being independent within your career. And that can mean owning your own business and possibly being a consultant, work for hire kind of person or whatever. But you have to call the shots now. That's what Uranus is asking you to do. Uranus retrograde now is going to go back into your ninth house, and it's about someone, probably going to bring up someone from the past that is a spiritual person, like a person, not a spiritual person necessarily, but a person who is triggering the story and a last gasp kind of situation where you're like, I thought I finished that. Why are you here again? It's that kind of situation. And if it's an aggressive or assertive person or a man who's tenacious or self-serving, that's that energy of that house. It's very much Aries in the Sagittarius house. Uranus is all about me, mine.
It is an Aries.
Okay, you're going to get that.
And he's going to be coming back. You're right.
Yeah. So
it's only going to turn it away.
I think you need to be true to yourself, and if you listen to your heart, you'll know what you need to do. So I can tell you, if you want my professional opinion, it's going to be a situation that you're not going to be comfortable in, probably.
Yeah.
And again, it's one where you've been in it before, and if you pay attention to the signals, they're going to tell you who they are and how he is, and it's the same story. And that's because you've gone through that story. Uranus went all the way through every degree in Aries and got to the last degree and went into Taurus, and it said, hey, we've got a new story, and it's not the masculine kind of bully story. It's now a feminine autonomy story, and that's where you're heading. So March of next year, that will be your story. And like I said, this is only from November until March, and it may even be, let me see when Uranus gets, so Uranus goes direct January 6th, and then gets back, it'll be in Aries, I want to say, let me see where we at here, Aries. It gets into Aries the second day of December, and it goes out of Aries back into Taurus on March 6th. So you've got like 2.5, almost 3 months, but about 2.5 months of Aries energy. And so that's when you're going to be dealing with the situation again. And then you're going to be able to go, oh, get this ick off of me, and go forward and have that strength. And as soon as Uranus goes back forward, it gets right back and goes back into Taurus. It goes on the 7th of March back into your house. Not even then, even before then. Let's see, 29 degrees and 28 minutes. It'll get back into your house of career on the 21st of February. So at that point, Uranus will be going forward. It's more the autonomy. Next year is going to be really good. And next year is a really big year, really, really big for making those January resolutions, because there's a lot of supportive energy immediately after the beginning of the year. Mars goes into Aries on the 2nd. And personally, last New Year's Day, I was very delayed in getting any resolutions because there were retrograde planets that were direct. Early again, Uranus went into it was in Aries last year on the 2nd, up until the 2nd, and went direct on the 3rd. So you don't want to have a Uranus retrograde on the day of your resolutions, because it's going to change direction and change your desires. So you want to do those resolutions when Uranus is in positive forward aspect if you can. And this coming year, he goes forward on the 7th. So I would do resolutions after Uranus goes forward, because, why do you want to do it? That's like out of sync to me. I would do it. And then Mars goes into Aries on the 2nd of January. So the 2nd of January may be okay, but Uranus going direct is really going to add added punch to those resolutions. So I personally would wait a week and do it after the 8th myself.
Okay, and what about, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm done.
What about the Scorpio in my life right now?
Okay, so that's in your home and family sector. So you have Uranus at 18 Scorpio. And again, like I said, that's in positive aspect to Pluto right now. So whatever changes seem depressing, and Venus definitely retrograde can be depressing for you, because, she's in Scorpio. She's in a water house and a water sign in a very deep energy ruled by Pluto, but she's in positive aspect to Pluto. So what's going on for her is she, again, like I said earlier, she's making those last tweaks to what's going on. She goes back into your 3rd house, out of your home and family house. Jupiter is moving forward, and he will be out of your home and family house by December. And so let's see. Yeah, I'll tell you. He gets into your romance house the 3rd of at 3 degrees. So let me tell you when that is.
And he causes a lot of complications around me.
Around what?
Around my life, like in my life, it seems like trouble follows him or something.
No, well, what happens is it's transformation. So I understand. Let me see, Jupiter. What's your ruling of Jupiter in your chart? Let me see. Well, where is your Jupiter? I can't even see him. He's hidden. Oh, there he is. He's in your 1st house at 27. Okay. So, yeah, definitely you're going to be having the difficulty because he's squaring your natal Jupiter. Absolutely. So he's like, so what you're doing is your whole thing is the lovely generosity of Leo and the romance and the creativity and the children and all that. But you want to be playful and you want to have fun. And sometimes also Leo energy can be very hyperbolic. So it likes to exaggerate stories for more drama. Go ahead.
Oh, you mean when it's going through that, or you mean,
whenever we have, Leo energy is about larger than life, exaggeration, stuff like that. And so whenever we see that, that's like right now, everything going on with the politics I told you in the show, it's about right now the elder generation, they have Pluto in Leo, and that's in negative aspect to Scorpio. So Jupiter is really giving that energy a hard time. And so because
it
Jupiter
complicates things.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, Jupiter is transformative. That's what it's about. It's transformation. And so what it wants to do is show you how to be about yourself. Now, the hard part is you've got Jupiter and Leo, which you really can say, hey, yeah, this is great. I'm really comfortable being in the spotlight, being me. You don't have any problem with that. But Jupiter in Scorpio is challenging you to be deeper than you normally are. And that's where it's difficult for you. Because, you do have Uranus, which is also a detached energy in Scorpio. So you kind of have detached from the deeper connections in your life. That's difficult for you.
Yes,
and Jupiter has it's triggered the Uranus in Scorpio for you in your house of home and family. So for you, that's where everything is falling. Okay? And again,
exactly it is.
Yeah, so it's going to clear up a bit more. When Venus gets back into Scorpio, like I said, she gets back into Scorpio 3rd of December, and then Jupiter gets out of Scorpio into Sagittarius early December, I want to say, or late November. Oh, I'm sorry, not even late. It's 9th of November. So it's going to get better. Jupiter getting out of your house, home, and family, out of Scorpio is going to be much better in the middle of November. It's going to really shift for you then. And then it's just a process.
Maybe meeting somebody nice for once. Do you see any maybe possibility of romance, a good one?
Oh, heck yeah. Venus going in the house of home and family is finding somebody who you resonate to in that energy. But Venus getting to Sagittarius, which is going to be, let me see, I think January of next year. Venus will be in Sagittarius and Jupiter will be in Sagittarius. And that is in your house of romance, creativity, and children, and joins up with your Neptune at 17 Sagittarius. So the next year is really phenomenal to meet someone, especially on travel and entertaining trips. So, or doing fun, entertaining things like concerts and weekends away and hiking and do fun things. And absolutely, your chart is lit up for a new partner coming in. So it's really, it looks really good next year. Yeah, I'm excited for you. It's going to be good.
Me too. And then my daughter's pregnant, and I was. Do you see any? I don't know if you can see this, but any twins or a boy coming in?
Well,
anywhere?
Yeah, let me look real quick and see.
Okay.
I'll do a real horary chart for the question, which is just when I understand the question, it's the chart at the moment. Well, there's Mars in Aquarius, which is multiples, and Uranus, which is also the ruler of Aquarius, in Taurus. It's retrograde. Mercury is at the last degree of Libra, which is also the scales and doubles. And there's there's a possibility. 11th. What is it?
Is that her birthday is October 11th? If that helps.
So she's a Libra. Well, Mercury rules twins, and that's in Libra. So there's a I will only say there's a possibility. But does she not know? How far along is she?
She does not know yet. She'll find out this week.
Okay.
So, do you think it might be a boy?
I was going to say a boy when I thought you were going to ask me what gender it was going to be, and for your chart, the male energy was stronger for me coming in, and even if it's a girl, she might be a pretty headstrong little girl. So it's
cool.
Probably more male energy.
I hope it's twins. I had a dream that I had that she had twin boys, so that's why I'm wondering
twin
about
boys.
that.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
She wants a boy, but I don't know about twins.
Yeah. Well, Mercury
she's only
at 20.
19, so.
Oh, she's only 19. Well, yeah, it's a late degree Libra, and I know they say the older you are, you release more eggs, so you have more chance of having twins older. But you never know; she might be just really fertile.
I kind of hope so, but that would be cool.
Yeah, but Mercury at late degrees, like whatever it is, it's going to be. There's definitely a strong purpose coming in for this child. The Libra Scorpio energy is really strong right now. Of course, when they're born, it won't be. How far along is she?
She is, I think she's like 14 weeks.
Oh,
she's not very far.
Like the first trimester, like just the end of the first trimester. So, yeah, it's going to be, let's see, so about 6 months from now, and that's March. So it's going to be borderline between Aquarius and Pisces, probably depending on what her due date is. So it'll be interesting. They're going to be really like the, they talk about crystal children and rainbow children. It's going to be a child like that, a child who's, very coming in.
Yeah, I had. This isn't weird, but my grandpa came to me in a dream and told me that he's been getting this baby ready to come into our family, and the baby knows all about us already. Do you think that could really happen?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a proponent of. Well, yeah, because I don't think, energy can go into multiple bodies. Body dies and stays here, and energy lives on. So absolutely, human energy will go into a new body because we have a process for that. So absolutely, I believe in reincarnation. We can even, if you listen to certain mediums and channeled people who channel, they say that you can be your own grandparent because you could go back into the same soul family. So it's very interesting. Yeah. You never know.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, I did, and he told me that he's prepared the baby and that the baby already knows us all, and that he's going to be a very special baby. Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations to you, and thank you so much for holding on as long as you did.
Yes, thank you for your
You're welcome.
You for everything too.
Okay, take care.
Have a great day. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for having patience. I did this post-production, and then you'll have a much smoother show. Thanks so much. See you next week. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at Ironwood.